The Presidency of Joe Biden, a Flawed Legacy. In the landscape of American politics, few recent figures have stirred as much contention and curiosity as President Joe Biden. With a political career spanning nearly half a century, spanning multiple administrations and roles, Biden has navigated a labyrinthine path filled with compromises, questionable moral judgments, significant personal failings, and numerous controversies. As Biden ascended to the presidency in the tumultuous aftermath of Donald Trump's tenure, it became evident that he was not merely the benign alternative to a divisive figure. He brought with him a multitude of issues that both shaded his character and challenged his capacity to lead a nation purporting to value integrity and transparency. Biden's history presents a blend of political ambition and grave inconsistency. Elected to the United States Senate in 1972 as the youngest senator in history, Biden's long political career has been marked by a tendency to shift positions dramatically to fit the political climate. This ideological elasticity raises questions about the sincerity of his commitments. For instance, during the 1980s, Biden was a prominent advocate for tough-on-crime legislation, including the 1994 crime bill, which has since been widely criticized for contributing to mass incarceration, despite the modern Democratic Party's shift toward criminal justice reform. Biden's fluctuating values can easily be interpreted as opportunism rather than genuine leadership. Compounding the concerns over Biden's integrity is his penchant for verbal gaffes, a trait that has drawn both ridicule and concern. While some may view these missteps as endearing signs of human fallibility, they have also raised doubts about his cognitive faculties. Questions surrounding his mental acuity have percolated through circles of both partisans and independents alike, particularly as he frequently stumbles over words, struggles to maintain focus, or appears lost during public engagements. As the leader of the free world, such lapses not only invite headlines but threaten national stability and confidence, leaving citizens to wonder if they are being led competently or simply witnessing the decline of a political career. At the heart of Biden's scandal-ridden presidency lies the saga of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, and the infamous laptop that has become emblematic of everything troubling about the Biden family's dealings. The existence of the laptop, containing numerous personal and potentially incriminating materials, unveiled a nexus of ethical concerns surrounding nepotism and questionable business practices. Hunter's entanglements with foreign entities, most notably his involvement with the Ukrainian gas company Burisma, have raised significant eyebrows. Critics argue that Hunter's business dealings cast a shadow on Joe Biden's integrity, particularly when it was alleged that the elder Biden leveraged his position as vice president to benefit his son's interests. This situation exposes a critical character flaw in Joe Biden, a recurring failure to address the ethical implications of his family's actions. While Biden has repeatedly distanced himself from Hunter's conduct, the lack of accountability raises troubling questions about the values he espouses. How can one lead a nation on principles of transparency and honesty while simultaneously ignoring glaring ethical dilemmas within one's own family? The Biden administration's efforts to obfuscate and downplay the Hunter Biden scandal reflect a potentially significant breach of public trust, one that seems to resonate with critics who charge that the family patriarch is either ill-equipped to manage national affairs or is simply too entrenched in his own interests. Moreover, Biden's style of leadership itself warrants scrutiny. His administration's handling of critical issues, from the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan to economic turbulence exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic, evokes an impression of inefficacy and indecision. The rushed exit from Afghanistan was marked not just by logistical failures, but also by a palpable abandonment of American allies, leaving many to question the administration's commitment to its promises and the safety of its citizens. Rather than presenting a coherent strategy, Biden's approach often appears as a series of ad hoc decisions driven more by political viability than by sound policymaking. On domestic matters, Biden promised unity to a deeply divided nation, yet his presidency has often seemed to deepen partisan rifts rather than heal them. The heavy-handed imposition of his policy agenda, particularly regarding climate change and social justice initiatives, reflects a lack of consideration for unifying governance. Furthermore, Biden's inability to forge lasting alliances within Congress has left him vulnerable to the whims of the Democratic Party's progressive wing, thus risking the stability that centrism historically offers. Instead of representing all Americans, Biden's track has fostered a perception of ideological elitism, alienating moderate voices across the spectrum. In addition to ethical concerns and leadership struggles, the Biden family's past is beset by a troubling legacy that cannot be overlooked. From Joe's early career, obscured by allegations of plagiarism and embellishment of his own academic successes, to the convoluted family dynamics that echo through his political narrative, the Biden family's history invites skepticism rather than reverence. A prominent legacy tainted by whispers of impropriety, whether personal or political, raises profound questions over what it means to lead with integrity. As Biden continues to navigate the rigors of the Oval Office, he stands at a crossroads: either rise above the weight of his past or succumb to the shadows that threaten to engulf his presidency. Detractors may contend that Biden is a product of a system rife with complications, yet his individual failings loom large. As a figurehead of democracy, one must demand excellence and accountability, qualities that Biden's record struggles to exemplify amidst personal and familial controversies. Ultimately, the narrative surrounding Joe Biden is not merely a critique of a president, but a profound commentary on the nature of political leadership in America. With a presidency marked by an amalgamation of personal flaws, ethical lapses, familial scandals, and leadership failures, Biden represents a cautionary tale that must compel future generations to seek authenticity and accountability in their leaders. In the unforgiving arena of global power, compromise may come at a cost, an imposition rather than the consensus necessary for a healthy democracy. Biden's legacy thus far stands uncomfortably aligned with a history of missteps and mistakes, compellingly urging voters to look beyond party allegiance in pursuit of virtuous leadership. Closing remarks. In light of Joe Biden's recent decision not to pursue re-election and his endorsement of Kamala Harris as his successor, it is paramount to reflect on the implications of his presidency and the accompanying controversies that have marked his time in office. While Biden's choice to step aside may signal a recognition of his administration's challenges, including the various scandals touched upon in this article, it also raises questions about his leadership legacy and fitness for a second term. These incidents, ranging from the handling of classified documents to strained international relations, have contributed to an atmosphere of skepticism surrounding his ability to govern effectively. By supporting Harris, Biden not only acknowledges the need for a new direction for the Democratic Party, but also illuminates his own perceived shortcomings. As we look to the future, one must consider whether Biden's administration can be viewed as a catalyst for positive change or merely as a tumultuous chapter that necessitates a fresh start under new leadership.